So hello students, I guess you are fit and fine at your place. Yes? So students, let's start today's class. Okay students? So students, I have interesting images for you. Okay? So firstly, the image is in front of you. You have to identify the objects and the person. You can see how many people and what they are doing and what is that. So tell me. So you can see that there are two men, right, and one woman, right? So students, what they are doing, are they moving here and there with the help of it? Yes. So have you seen these types of things in the on the television whenever there is some rituals regarding wedding? So the girl from one family to the another family, then she after marriage she goes to with the help of these types of things. So she travel with this. Okay. So students, what we call in English or Hindi, do you know what is the particular name? And she is going from one house, okay, from one house. So this is, let's say this is a house, okay, to and another house, right? So they are taking her from with the help of this juggi, right? So students, do you see that they have a movement, right? Very good. So let's see one more. Now what about this? Do you see any object or any animals or any person which is sitting? Yes, one person is there and two buffaloes are there, right? And he is moving with the help of a cart, right? So he is also traveling from one place to another with the help of this bull cart, right? So basically in the two images we can say a person is any person who is here is traveling to other with the help of some transport, right? Now, so students, I have an activity where I have pasted few images of a transport, means of transport, right? So students, you have to tell me first the land transport. Where do you see where the on the land? You have to tell me for the land transport. For water and air. So do you know what means of transport? The means of transport are those which you help us to a person to be travel from one place to another, right? So firstly let's go with the land. Where do you see that which vehicle is used for the? Yes, we have a bicycle. Very good students. So you will also write it down your answer in the comment box. Next, where it is another one, so let me circle for you. There is a bicycle. Another, yes, we have a bus. Very good. So let me do something for you, that is we have a bus, right? Another students, what about other? Yes, we have a bull cart also in the. Now students, next, what about this airplane? It's come under which? Yes, it is in air and water. Yes, airplane is in air. Yes students, what about next? What about the ship? Yeah, the ship is in water, right? And the next, which is the last? Yes, the train. So students, basically we have these types of means of transport, that is land, water and air. So how we come to know that we have these means of transport and what is the invention? Before these things, when these bus, vulcan, train, ship, aeroplane doesn't have, what are the people are using in the previous years, right? So let's see. So these are the story of a transport system, how the transport system is going to has been come out. So we are going to discuss only, that is story of a transport system. Okay. So students, firstly let's talk about first means of transportation was a human foot. So in the first photograph I show you, a girl is traveling from one place to another, but the girl is just sitting inside, but the two people are taking her from one place to another. So that is, they are using their foot. Okay, so they are using their foot to transport from one place to another. So first means of transport is the human transport. Human transport in the form of a foot, human foot. Okay. Next, the design of the wheel was improved over thousands of years, and the animals were used as a pull the cart through the wheels. So you can see here, we have a, for the bull cart we have a wheels, right? So then after there is a discovery of a, after some year there is a discovery of a wheel. From there we come to know that there is a, these are help us to transport from one place to another. So these are the wheels we called. Okay, so what are these? These are wheels. So there is a discovery of a wheels, then we come to know that the bull cart. Okay, in the 19th century, students, the steam engines were discovered for the discovery of trains. So whenever we talk about for the train, we have a steam engines first. Okay, where we use coal and other form of that they run the engine. So these are used for the discovery of a trains occur. Now after the 20th century, in the 20th century, after the 19th century we come to 20th century, right? Electronic vehicles are used like aeroplanes, right? And car, spacecraft. So we have seen all these things. So these are the examples of transport systems, and these are the discovery. Like first we have a human foot, then there is a discovery of a wheel, then we come to know that how we can use the animals in the form of transportations, and then we come to know the discovery of steam engines, right? And the discovery of train, and we come to know after the 19 we have a 20th century where we run with the electronic vehicles. So these are the few of the important story related with the transport system. Okay. Now students, there is one question arises in front of you. So students, suppose you are living in an ancient time, right? And you have to go to your sister place by crossing the river. Now what will you use for this medium? So what you will use for such medium if you want to go from your sister house, your sister's place? You're living in the ancient time, there is, that means there is no means of transport, nothing is there. So you have to go to your sister's place by crossing the river. So suppose students, you are standing here, okay, and the river is here and your sister's house is here. So how you are going to cross this river, students? So what is the medium you are using, with the help of which? So students, for the hint I have pasted a picture. See what they are, people. If you understand it, so write it down your answer in the comment box. Yes students, very good. So we can say that we have some logs of woods, right? And from the logs of wood the people are making boat. So this is the means of transport. So you have to join these logs of wood together and then you will make a boat. Okay, with the help of it you will easily cross the river from here to here. Okay, so that will, it is very easy. So now students, one more filling the blanks is there. The first means of transportation was the dash foot. Whose foot is there for the first means of transport? Write it down your answer in the comment box. Yes, have you done it? So yes students, yes. So we have talked about that is human foot, right? So human foot foot is used for a first means of transport as used by humans. Okay, so students, see, in our class, let's say 2 students are there, right? And they are sitting on one of desk. So let's see, here are 2 people, right? And they are sitting on the desk. You will not able to see their legs, right? Because they are sitting. So students, now you have to divide the desk in 2 half. Okay, so find the way how you will measure the length of the desk. So you have to divide this desk into half, students. So how you come to know that how much space is required for the one person and how much space is required for other person? So what is the way for dividing this table into 2 halves? Yes, let's see, we have an activity only. So there is a desk in front of you. Let's say, let me consider this as a desk. Okay, there is a desk in front of you. You have to measure its length by using hand. So you have to use your hands to measuring. Okay, write it down your observation. So you can write it down your observation this table. So students, let me use my hands to measure this. So you have to measure as such way as this person is doing. You have to open your all the fingers completely, then you have to measure. Okay, so let me measure. It's 1 2 3. So this is 3 hands. I can get it of my measure of my table, this whiteboard. So we can able to measure the form of, now I can divide it. So if I measure with the help, so it is smaller with my hand. So if I want to measure this length of this duster, so I will measure this. Okay, so it is smaller. So let me take another one. Let me take this notebook. If I want to measure this notebook, okay, so how much? Firstly, for 1, and it is half, less than half. Okay, so that way you can able to measure. If I want to measure its height, so you have to take that point where you have left it, so that way you can easily able to calculate. Okay, so basically students, we have some measurements. Before, we don't have any scale or anything else, so we use these kinds of measurement for dividing or find it out its length. Okay, so see, we have some measurements that is known standardized unit of measurements. Okay, so let's see what are those. First, we have known standardized units, okay, of measurement. So see, what is that? So firstly, we have used our hand span, right, for measuring. So this is our hand span we have used for measuring the duster, for the notebook. Okay, these are the some known standards. When we employed bodily parts of the measurement of objects such as foot length, okay, hand span, then we can say that these are called non-standardized unit of measurement. When you use your hand span and your foot span, then you can say that these are non-standardized. We have few more, students. You can see our finger width, right, and this is 1 centimeter from this point to this point, as you can see in the figure. Okay, and this is other measurements like a pace, with you measure with your foot only with the help of, and this is a cubit where you measuring with your hair to hair. Okay, so these kinds of measurements is you can use for the person. For these are called non-standardized unit of measurements. Okay, students, when if we talk about the other, so it varies from person to person, because some person have such a long hand, such have a small hand, and their fingers are also small, so some have very long fingers. So it depends upon the person's body structure, and their hand and foot, right? So that's why they are called non-standardized, because we don't have any standard for all the world, right? Every person have their own body, individual differences, so that's why they are called non-standardized unit of measurements. Okay, now students, you have to list down some daily life examples where you can see or use or not use the standardized unit of measurements. So you have to tell me where do you use the your standardized measurement, or you will not use for the that case, in that situation, non-standardized. So think about it and write it down your answer in the comment box. Yes students, if we talk about students uses, so basically we can use for this situation where we discuss about a person, two students are there who are fighting, so we can use such measurements, like for the shorter distance we use it, right? But if we talk about for the long distances, like car travel, as suppose I'm living in Ambala, right, in Haryana, and I want to go for the Rewari, and I have to measure the distance between them. So I will not use this cubit or hand span or foot span. So it is very difficult for me to measure the how much distance I have traveled, right? So it's a very time consuming, right students? So some situations are there we easily find, if I want to find this, for I will use this much. So but if there is no standards, we does not get a proper accurate measurement, students. So sometimes we lack in that measurement, but we done it for the certain situations. Okay, now students, one more question arises. Yes, the limitations of non-standardized unit of measurements. So we have a 4 options. It gives accurate result, it cannot be used to measure road distance, it gives accurate result, it gives inaccurate result, and D, both B and C. So what do you say that? What about, what is the limitation for the non-standardized unit of measurements? Do you get the same accurate result for each person? Yes, that is, you does not get the same result, right? It cannot be used to measure the road distance, right? And it does not give you accurate. So which one is the correct option, students? Yes, D is the correct option, because we know that B and C is also correct. So we have a correct answer in front of us, that is D. So we choose all the option for it, that is B and D. Okay students, now let's come forward. So we have a D. So let's come forward, students. So what do you see in front of the activity, where I have taken a scale, right? And there is some observation table in front of you. You are thinking, why madam is showing this type of things? We have a scale and we have some measurements, so do we need to measure something, right? So basically students, I have also a scale, you can see. So what we are going to do, students, from this scale, take a scale. Yes, we have taken, measure the length of a table with the help of that scale. So we are going to measure the table size with the help of this scale. Okay, and you have to share the observation in your table. Now if after measurement, now use the number present on the scale to measure. So these are the numbers, students, you can see in front of you. These are the few numbers which is reflecting to you. So these are the helping us to tell us how much measurements is there in centimeter, right? So this is a centimeter scale which is from 0 to 15. So students, please measure and tell me length of your table. So students, in my case, the length of my table is, let me write it down, your answer. The length of my table is, students, is it 39 centimeter. I have very small table, right? So what about your case, students? Do you have the same? Now measure and tell me, okay? So that way we can find it out the measurement of any table, okay, or any other things. So I can see I have a scale of 39 is in the form of a centimeter. Now students, basically we have a standardized units. Now we are using this standardized form of scale, right? Because it's for every person it is same. If any person is sitting in other state, also he is using this scale for measurement, he or she will get definitely the same result. So basically we have the standardized units of measurements which we are going to discuss now. Okay. So in the standardized units of measurement, students, you can see for the standardized, it's a measuring the object is a qualitative way. So it is a way, it is a correct way of measurement of measuring any height or length of any object, because it's giving you the correct way. It is very properly you get your measurements. So it is measuring the objects in a qualitative way. It contains a number and a unit. As you can see in this form of a scale, there is 0 to 15 centimeter is there, and the units is also written centimeter, right students? So we have numbers 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and we have some unit for that. As you can say, a ruler has both. So basically this is only a ruler, students. Yes, we use this for the making boundaries and other purposes. So basically this is a ruler, and they have all the standardized units which is written. So it is also known as metric units, okay? So whenever we have any standardized units, we call as a metric system, because the units are used in the measurements in the form of meter, centimeter and kg. So students, you come to know that we have meter, centimeter and kilogram. So these are the few of the standardized measurements we can use it. For students, let's say we have some measurements. For 1 meter we have 100 centimeter, right? And for the 1 kg we have 1000 gram. For 1 centimeter, if you want to calculate, so you have to substitute the terms to calculating, okay? So we can say that 1 meter is we have 100 centimeter. So students, if I want to calculate for the 1 centimeter, so I am going to divide it by 1 by 100 meter, okay? So now students, we come forward. Now students, what you have to do, you have to list down the difference between non-standardized unit and standardized unit of measurements. So students, what do you understand by non-standardized? That means we get the accurate result or inaccurate? Yes, for the non-standardized. And for the standardized. For the non-standardized students, we does not get, right, accurate result. And do we get the accurate result for the standardized? Yes. So we get accurate result in the case of standardized. And what is the examples which is come under this non-standardized? What is the way to measuring the length? So basically we have some like hand span, right? We have hand span or foot span to measuring the, so we can use cubit, right? And okay, for the standardized we are using kilogram, meter, centimeter, right? So it is the correct way of measurement. Okay students, now it's your turn to give me the answer, straight, true or false. Okay, so the standardized unit of measurement is also known as unmetric system. Do we get this statement? Do you find it out? Is it a correct or a false? Yes. Yes students, very good. You can also write it down your answer in the comment box. Yes, it is a false statement. So why it is false statement students? Because we can say it is not a unmetric system, it is a metric system. For the standardized we have metric system. So this is a false statement, right? So that way we can use it. Now students, let's recap what we have discussed in the today's class. Okay, so we are discussed today the story of transportation system, right? Then we have discussed about the non-standardized system of measurement. Then we talk about the standardized unit of measurements, right? So these we can use it for the story of, we can see that in the for the first transportation, that is human foot is used. Then we have come discovery of a vehicle wheels, then we come out the bull cart, then we come out with the, in the 19th century we have a steam engines, in the 20th century we have discover electronic vehicles, right? Then we discussed about the non-standardized unit. After that we talk about the standardized, how we can measure the standardized way of measurement for any particular object or any object which is surrounds us. Then so students, now you have to give me the answer of this question. Okay, so see, in your class there is a Chodinla, right? So she is wants to measure the length of her room. So which measurement she will use to measure it accurately? Students, make sure you have read the statement correctly, then you will proceed for further. Okay, so she has to measure it accurately, the length of the room. So which of the measurements she will use? So the in front of you there are 4 options. First is hand span, B foot span, C arm span, and D is ruler. For accurately students, what kind of standardized? Yes, very good. Write it down your answer. Do she use standardized or unstandardized? Yes, she will use standardized students. So what is the correct answer for this? Yes, she will use ruler to measure the length of her room. Okay students, very good. So cross check your answer. So students, last question in front of you. Put the following images in increasing order. So you have to tell me for the first one, which is the first for the, yes, for the human foot, then wheels, then we have here also, and the fourth for the water, right? So you can check it out your answer. Do we get the same or other? So last we have students homework. You have to convert the conversion. You should meter to centimeter, you have to convert it, and you have to tell me why would not use electrical stretchable tape for measuring the length. Okay, and at last you have an activity. You have to measure the length of your classmate using your hand span. Okay, and by the same person you have to measure with the help of meter scale. So now you have to think about your classmate back. You have to stand with the back of your wall. Okay, and you have to measure it accurately from your head. Now then you have to measure the distance from the floor to the mark of the wall. Then you able to do with the both the things with the hand span as well as meter scale. So after that you have to write it down your observation, and you have to tell me which of the following you get the correct accurate measurement of his height. Okay, so do this activity and we will discuss in the next class. So thank you students, we will meet in the next video.